Hey guys, it's Josh. um, Today I wanted to talk about my coming out story. Um, I wouldn't say that my coming out story was like really depressing because it wasn't, because I think that most of my family was prepared for it because at a young age, like I was really girly and stuff. But no, so I was walking home. It was earlier in my 8th grade year. So I was walking back home with a friend, and it was raining outside, and we were walking, and I remember being really nervous because, like, I mean, of course no one was going to be shocked because of the way that I talk and the way that I act and stuff, but no, so we were just walking, and we stopped at the corner to check for cars, and I held her there for a minute, and I was like, can I tell you something? And she was like, sure, anything. And so I stood there for a minute, and I was like, I'm bisexual. And we stood there for like 5 seconds, and she was like, you can tell me anything. She's like, I love you for you, and no one should judge you for that. And I was like, well, I've been bisexual for a while, I just really didn't tell anybody, because coming out about your sexuality is a really hard thing, and the fact that I did it in middle school makes it even worse, because now that I'm going on to the high school, fucked up situation. But I'd rather just get it done and over with now because I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, so I might as well get over it. And so now, at that time, she had just known, and so I think it was like a Saturday, and then the next day, I hung out with her, and she was like, so tell me more about you being bisexual. I was like, well, I had a boyfriend, and he cheated on me, but he was my first for everything except for sex. Um, and when I was talking to her, she was like, well, you could have told me sooner. I was like, well, I really wasn't comfortable. So we went back to school, and I was acting really weird, and Grace was smiling at me because, of course, she knew. So everyone wanted to know, and so I was like, well, I don't really want to tell you right now. So come lunchtime, we go outside for recess, and I whisper in my best friend Abby's ear, and I was like, I'm bisexual. And she was like, oh god, Josh, I've known that for a long time. And I was like, well, I know, but, just to say it, it makes it a lot easier. And so we go and stand over by the bricks, and Morgan and Cheyenne were all like, what's going on? And I was like, you guys promised me that you'll love me still for who I am. And they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, well, I'm bisexual. And we stood there for like 2 minutes, a long, awkward silence. And finally Morgan says, I'm bisexual too. And everyone just like was so shocked, and then Cheyenne was like, I'm bisexual too. And Abby said, I'm bisexual. And like knowing that all of my friends were hiding something too, it made me feel like one and the same with them. And then so, as the year progressed, this guy was talking to me. I'd rather not name his name because like I don't want everybody like attacking him, but no, we were talking for a while, and he got really sexual and used me basically. So yeah, he told me that he'd liked me ever since the 7th grade. So I thought that he was like literally like not joking, because he'd like always give me like weird looks in like technology class and stuff. But I don't know, like I've had a lot of straight guys tell me that they like me, and it's just really weird. But no, so it was near the end of the year, and me and my mom had gotten a fight. I think it was like like 2 months before the year had ended. Me and my mom had gotten in a huge fight, and I was cussing at her and stuff, and I was like, my mom really needs to know. I was like, because my stepdad, before like I came out, he would like call me names to push me to come out, because they all knew that I was. I mean, my whole family's known ever since my childbirth that I was not obviously straight. So I walked into my little brother's room, because I had gotten in really big trouble, and I was going through cutting and stuff, and my parents didn't trust me downstairs by myself, so they moved me up to my brother's room for a while, just to make sure that they could trust me again. So I wrote a note to my mom, because I didn't want to say it out loud, because, I don't know, I have something wrong with me. And I gave it to my mom, and I walked back in my little brother's room, and about 5 minutes later I walked back in the room. And my mom just looks at me, and she was like, "Oh honey, I've known for a long time." And I was like, that makes it a lot easier. And she was like, "You can come to me about anything," and she was like, "Don't ever feel like you can't." And I was like, okay. So, a few months go by, and summer vacation, obviously. It was actually like just a month ago. I was coming home after watching Snow White and the Huntsman, and I was like, I really just need to tell someone. So I called my mom, and I was like, I just need to tell her. And so I called my mom, and I was like, "Mom, like, are you busy?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Do you have a minute?" And she just goes, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And I stood there for a minute, walking home, and just stood there really quiet. She's like, "Josh," and I was like, "I'm gay." And we stopped for a minute, and like, I thought she was mad at me or something, because like, nothing was being said, and I just felt really bad. And my mom, she was like, "Okay, why are you telling me this?" I was like, "Well, I wanted you to know." I was like, "I'm sick and tired of lying about being bisexual when I'm not." And she was like, "Well, I'm glad that you told me, but I've known this for a long time." And I was like, "Okay." And so after I hung up, I was talking to my friend Vicky. And my friend Vicky, you know, she's gay, so it makes it a lot easier to be around her. And we were talking, and she was like, "I'm really proud of you." And I was like, "Thanks." She was like, "And you can come talk to me about anything." So, and I just really recently wanted to tell my dad, so it was like maybe a few weeks ago. I really wanted to tell my dad, and my dad, like, long story about him and my brother, not going into detail, I'll get really emotional, but, my dad's a drug addict and hasn't been in my life much, um, so, and my dad really does not like gay people whatsoever, which is really hard, knowing that he has a gay son, and we had recently found another brother of mine who is bisexual, and then I have an older sister who's bisexual too. So knowing that he has like all of this gay blood running in his family, you know, I just wanted to tell him just to get the news over with so that he didn't have to deal with it anymore. So I sent him a message on Facebook because I did not want to say it in person. I mean, my dad hates me enough the way it is. So I just wrote him a message, and I was like, "Dad," I was like, "if you're not going to be in my life, regardless, I want you to know that I'm gay." And he sent me a message back the next day. He was like, "Okay, I really didn't want to know that." He was like, "I don't really care anyways." And I was like, "You don't really have to be crappy about it." And he responded, "Well, you're obviously not my son anymore, so I don't see why it matters." And that just like crushed me, because I want everyone to accept me for who I am. I mean, equality is what I'm all for. I mean, my family accepts me. My part of my Norman family accepts me, so why can't my dad accept me? But what I've learned is not everyone is going to accept you, especially your parents. I mean, there are some parents who will like ground their children and severely beat their children for being gay or bisexual or lesbian or whatever you want to call it. Members of the LGBT community. And regardless of who you are, I think that you should be loved unconditionally, because a sexuality does not define a person, it's just another unique thing that they are born with. You cannot change your sexuality. It's something that you are born with. It's not just a switch that you can turn off for a day or two because you don't want to be that for a few days. You are born with your sexuality and you cannot change it. Believe me, I've tried to, and it's very scarring. I hurt myself and put myself in a lot of physical pain because of what I had done to my body. But no, now my family knows. It's a lot easier to go to family get-togethers and be myself nowadays. My grandma knows. My grandma supports me 100%, even though that she's not really a big fan of it. She puts it all aside to support me. My mom is very supportive. Although she doesn't like to talk about it a lot because, you know, that's not how she was raised. She wasn't really raised in a gay community household. And neither am I. I wasn't raised that way either, but I'm at that age where I know, and I understand that there are going to be people that say that I don't know what I want in life. I completely know that I want boys, not girls. That's for sure. So don't tell me that I don't know what I want, because I'm 14, getting ready to turn 15, and like some odd days, I know what I want in life. I choose to surround myself with gay people because, for the reason that it is a lot more comfortable for me hanging out with those kinds of people. I have straight friends who support me, and I have my family who supports me as well. But no, that's my coming out story. It's nothing much, really. There's just a few sad points, but you know, I made it through them, and you can too. Some suggestions if you want to come out. I would just say do it on your own time and don't rush it, because it's something that takes a lot of guts to do. Don't go too fast. Like, don't put it on Facebook right after you tell people, and don't start writing it on the internet, because there are some cruel people out there and they will make you feel like crap. And in my situation, I know that it seems really stupid, but I was at the point of suicide because of some things like that, and you just have to learn not to let those things get to you, because truly and deeply on the inside you're a really good person, no matter what people say about you. But no, just do it on your own time. Make sure that you're comfortable with doing it, and don't let people tell you different. Like, if you're telling someone that you're bisexual, don't let them tell you that you're confused. In my opinion, bisexuals are eventually going to lean towards being straight or being gay. That's normally how it happens, but for those small percentages of people who do stay bisexual, I still support you. I support everyone in the LGBT community, because you are all unique in every different way. But yeah, that's my coming out story. So comment and subscribe, all this ever. But no guys, I'll be making more videos soon as the day progresses, because I really have nothing to do today. So okay, I love you.